Hello friends, welcome to my channel 5 Minutes History. Today I bring you the story of one of the greatest tank battles ever fought since World War II. It is the story where the defensive forces were numerically and technologically way behind the offensive forces, but because of a brilliant strategy, they overcame all odds and absolutely decimated a far superior enemy. This is the story of the Battle of Asal Uttar, fought during the Indo Pakistan War of 1965. It was the period of Cold War between US and Soviet Union. Due to India's closeness with Soviet Union, US and Western allies supported Pakistan and supplied her with latest weapons. As such, the weaponry that Pakistan had was significantly better than that of India. One of the areas where Pakistani weapons were almost a generation ahead of India's were armored vehicles, more specifically tanks. US had supplied Pakistan with M47 and M48 Patton tanks, whereas India was still using World War II era M4 Shermans, Centurions, and AMX-13 tanks. Thus, the odds were severely tilted in favor of Pakistan. On 8 September 1965, Pakistan Army, using its 1st Armored Division and 11th Infantry Division, crossed the international border in Punjab region and moved to capture the Indian town of Khemkaran. The motive was to capture large fertile landmass in Indian Punjab. The invading Pakistani force had around 260 main battle tanks, mainly the latest American M48 Patton tanks. The defending Indian force in the region was 4th Mountain Division led by Major General Gurbaksh Singh. He just had 2 artillery regiments and 3 tank regiments, each with around 45 main battle tanks, mainly M4 Shermans. Realizing that his forces didn't have a chance if they met head-on with the superior Pakistani forces, Major General Gurbaksh Singh immediately ordered his troops to fall back and assume a horseshoe-shaped formation with Asal Uttar as its focal point, northeast of Khemkaran. When Pakistani forces entered the area of Khemkaran, they realized that the Indian forces have retreated and were deceived in believing of a total victory. Pakistani commander Major General Nasir Ahmad Khan even halted to celebrate and do photo ops in the town. Meanwhile, the Indians were busy with the plan of their own. The region of Asal Uttar is a fertile sugarcane belt full of porous fertile soil. The tall sugarcane grass allowed the Indian forces in the U-shaped formation to remain hidden and allow their tanks to be much closer to the invading forces, blunting the advantage of the high-range guns of the Patton tanks. However, with its higher caliber gun and powerful engine, the Patton could still break through any defensive formation. As such, the Patton tanks had to be immobilized. As part of their strategy, the Indian troops in the cover of night flooded the sugarcane fields all over the region of Asal Uttar. The fertile porous soil absorbed the water like a sponge, making the entire region marshy. The next morning, Pakistani Armored Division moved forward, crossing the sugarcane fields. The thick armor of the Patton tanks made them very heavy and they started to sink in the ground. Some of them sunk right up to the turret. At this point, the Indian 4th Mountain Division, comprising of tanks, artillery, and infantry, commenced a massive assault on the Pakistani forces from 3 sides. With most of their tanks incapacitated due to marshy land, Pakistan took heavy losses in this battle. Their commander, Major General Nasir Ahmad Khan, was killed, and as many as 155 Pakistani tanks were destroyed, and 14 were captured by Indian Army. India in turn lost just 22 tanks of its own. The battle also witnessed the personal bravery of Indian soldier Abdul Hamid, who knocked out 7 enemy tanks with his jeep-mounted recoilless gun. Abdul Hamid was honored with the Paramveer Chakra, India's highest military award. The battlefield of Asal Uttar got the name of Patton Nagar or Patton Town because of the vast graveyard of American Patton tanks, several of which still stand as war trophies. The Battle of Asal Uttar was fought at the peak of Cold War. Even while Pakistan accepted the defeat and losses of Asal Uttar, Western nations and their allies continued to support Pakistan and also spread wrong propaganda news of the Pakistani victory. The battle was a turning point in the Indian-Pakistani War of 1965, where the odds turned drastically in favor of India. With its armored superiority blunted, Pakistan could never recover. India went from defensive to offensive in the war and almost captured Pakistani city of Lahore before a ceasefire was declared. The Battle of Asal Uttar is taught as a battle strategy in all major war colleges in the world. It showcases that with correct strategy, even an inferior force can overcome a far superior force.